Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Vicky 3. This is episode 37. Last time out, we made a huge expansion in South America. Expected to just get this tiny little state, but Chile didn't back down. And so we took all of Chile and a good chunk of Peru, Bolivia. And then meanwhile, we also had a couple wars in our colonization region within Africa. Well, anyway, after that big expansion, we find ourselves, I was trying to keep us under a 100, and we're at 141. But in the meantime, we've also climbed to number 2. I think the short-term solution is to further expand our military and just be stronger than everybody else, so that there's nothing that they can actually really do to stop you. For comparison, let's see where some of the others are. We are half the size of Russia in terms of military, but the overall strength is very similar. We are less than half the size in terms of navy compared to Russia, but we are significantly stronger than Russia. Now the British Republic, back up to 17 flotillas, but very, 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 very weak, and still a very, very weak army as well. Austria is number 1. How are they looking? Massive. They are twice our strength in almost both areas. That's the concern. Prussia, though, not bad. Almost no navy to speak of, and a military that is nowhere near our strength. Spain, very weak. French peasant revolt, and France is nearly there. It looks like they are about to flip. Currently, right? The peasant revolt, I think, is the stronger one, and it is. Combination, in the end, we are looking at a navy that's about our strength and looking at an army that is a little bit weaker than ours. The East India Company is another one to watch out for, and they are half our strength with a much weaker navy, so they are not much of a threat either. Great Qing, of course, the superpower who is unrecognized but very much internal. We are stronger than them by a small margin when it comes to the army, and then navy-wise, we have a pretty safe advantage. So, again, expansion of the military is a key to just avoiding problems, because one nation in particular can themselves be a real problem. Others less so, but still, you really, really got to watch out for it. And Austria and myself share multiple borders here in Sakhalin and Hokkaido. We have unlocked siege artillery, though, so there's another good path forward. Let's go ahead and turn that up now to its highest level. We will do the same thing here. So turning everything up for the military to maximum levels on what's available to us has already pushed the power projection to over 2,000. Navy projection for now is the same, but that will begin changing as we switch to destroyers for our Navy. The Aymara region, which we just conquered, wants to secede. They have a single army unit. It looks like we are going to have to beat them up to keep them in, as it's already at a 97%. Need a full military for that one. We could take a single unit. Who knew that our first civil war would be in the Pacific coast, the South Pacific coast in South America, when we started this playthrough? Did not see that one coming, did we? Oh, hello. Peru, Bolivia is supporting them for this one. Aww. This diplomatic play does not allow adding additional war goals. So sad. But it does look like we're going to need an additional force here to see that one out. So let's go ahead and mobilize another. Austria is leaning their way, though, and so is Argentina. I don't mind the Argentina part, but the Austria part could get tricky. So if they do join them, it seems like they would be really late to the party. And that it wouldn't end up going their direction as a result. But there we go. It has broken out. They have not been joined. There we go. Our forces have arrived. We only have a slight advantage here, but that's okay. We really don't need to do much with that one. We do need to crush the uprising, though. The war is pretty quickly going our direction, but for some reason, without ever having a negative, we did have a scenario where we lost a small amount of territory. So our score is dropping too, but not rapidly. And there it is. Capitulation. It's done. It's over. And Bengala has risen up against us. So again, a quick path to conquering some territory. And war has broken out with Bengala. So we'll see how this one goes. It's going to be us winning. I know how this one's going to go. They have a decent amount of units though. But we still have a healthy advantage even with just a single army present. Might take a little bit. We'll win this early. I'm very tempted to already begin our next war, but, you know, 131, we are a total pariah. I would like to see that back off a little bit, especially with 143 units. We're up to 70% on literacy, so that's a big climb from where we were. We're also coming right up on 45 million for a population, and now Lunda also rising against us. Might take a little while to win this one, and therefore we might want to bring a second unit over. Kasanji as well rising up against us, so there is now a third one. With Lunda breaking out, I think we'll have full control here and War 1, or here and War 1 before we need to bother with that one. We'll see if that's the case, if we're actually able to do so in time. Film unlocked, plus 5% prestige. And I did just a little bit here in the society area, but you can see we're almost down to the final row. And those are only going to take 25 months with our current levels. 16 months here for political agitation, the last one on that row. Let's go ahead and go to production for a little bit, because this is one area that still has quite a bit to do. Okay, so war with Kasanji has broken out, and I have not finished the other two fronts at this point, which means they would gain rather rapidly as we don't have any defenses present at the time being. We nearly have the Bengala War 1. Yeah, minus 18. So let's see that one finish out the next couple of days, and then we're going to have to, you know, step in pretty dang quick. Minus 10 now. Minus 1. Plus 17. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have annexed Bengala. We lost some ground, but there is our forces now present. Now, we definitely lost some ground on the front, which means we are losing war score. Let's see how quickly we can recover our position with a 91% advantage. It shouldn't take very long, and then we'll flip the war score our direction. Another uprising in the same region is emerging, so here we go again. Our forces split here and ended up joining in Lunda, which is actually helping us win Lunda much faster. So I don't necessarily mind that it's doing that. Meanwhile, our single unit here is holding off these forces, and yes, we are losing that war, but winning this war and combining forces is going to make this go much faster. Austria! Okay, Austria, the big bad wolf, has sided with our revolutionaries. Now the good news, though, is the front is here. They have 60 units on the way, though. We're going to have to bring anything and everything we can to that front, though. Let's go ahead and mobilize our Indonesian forces. Still, for whatever reason, our Indonesian forces do not... I think it's because we don't have maybe a port in the area. But I know we made a port in the Celebes, and I thought that's where it's Indonesian headquarters. So there should be a port from there. There should be a way to transport those units, but for whatever reason it's still broken. Let's go ahead and recruit another general, as we have plenty of units around that are like here in Dixie. We can easily get another 20. Get Sheridan. Okay, Lunda has been taken, and that means our 40 units are now here. So these two fronts will be done and over with soon. That uprising already. Wow, that was fast. 408 Austrian units, along with 112 flotillas. This is a new one. This is a new one, folks. We have definitely not had this happen before. Military. Navy. Okay, we still have Oliver Sherman on patrolling coast, but let's recruit another admiral. Dixie. Expert naval commander, we'll take that. And then we are going to assign him this area and see what we can do to slow down, stop. Alright, now our 22 units are already in place on the front, and meanwhile the 6 units that they have are all that they have. So we could actually turn this very, very quickly into stopping this uprising. Next unit's going to be here in 26 days. As for them and their massive number coming this way, I don't know how long it's going to be. 15, oh gosh, 15 days till the first one's here. 15 days till the first unit's present. So we have about 2 weeks to advance the front, and we have managed to do so before the Austrian units arrive. That's enough to start tipping the war score in our favor rather quickly. Otherwise, we have to revoke American claims. Now, it's a small state that we would lose here, so it's not a big deal. But, you know, we need a decent amount of war score until that happens, and our advantage is not going to last long. Now, their first 20 units and our next 20 units are going to arrive soon after one another, and then of course we are expecting, you know, others. But looks like we've got little fronts here and there that these units are going to be kind of flipping towards before they join forces over here. Oh, that's already how did they go from 20 on the way to 66 arriving on the same day? That was not supposed to happen. Our intel was incorrect. We have 4 days until units arrive for us, but Lunda, okay, that's one of the African fronts. There we go. Now we have some forces present, but yeah, I don't know how they got 60 additional units when only 20 were supposed to be arriving at that point another week, and we were supposed to have 20 more. And a couple weeks later, you were supposed to have 20 more, but not instant. Okay, we do have the advantage here, but it's only individual units, and they're not there to attack. Yeah, Austria is definitely making me nervous on this one. But this is nearly done, which is going to split our forces. But I would imagine they're going to be moving to these two fronts. And it will take a little bit of time for them to finish those off. Where our war score isn't great here, our war support already down to a +20. They're already at a -25, and actually we're really close to that goal being done. There we go. So we've taken this from Austria. That's got to help with our war score. We're about to take this. They'll be there in 2 weeks. But meanwhile, on this front, we are no longer holding it. In fact, they are up to 200 units. Holy crap. And this may not go our way. I mean, we're already at just a -45. It is possible, but they're going to make gains. They are going to make gains. So what can we do here? We're going to recruit a new general. one in planes. And we need to switch to going defensive here. Trying to flip to defending this front. I should have done that earlier. Okay, Cassandier has capitulated, so we're down to just the single war, where for now we do have the advantage in the war score, but at the rate of progress that they are making, I don't know how much longer that's going to hold. Flipping to going more defensive with a lot more units on the way could and should at least hold that process. Slow it down. Okay, so we took that territory. That's got to be helping with the war score, right? Okay, there you go. We stopped it. We stopped it. We had already done enough because it wasn't about Austria on that one. It was about them, and they didn't want any part of it anymore. We beat up on them enough early on. Dodge that bullet. That was the biggest scare we've had besides our first war with Britain. Or no, sorry, our first war with Mexico, where France ended up siding with them, right? But that very much goes back onto the we are a pariah and they hate us. A 123. If bureaucracy is down, that could be through all this rapid expansion here in West Africa. Speaking of Zambia, colonize, good. With the war, I missed a government change, but with the new government, socialists in charge, the trade unions, along with the intelligentsia, are in charge, and the trade unions desperately want public health insurance. So, without any opposition, success starts at 37%, advance is 62%, and with 96% legitimacy, it's only taking 48 days for a checkpoint. We very well could get this passed quite soon, and that's one of the two kind of key laws that we were still waiting on. We have no health insurance whatsoever, so that would be a big one. Now, you can see there's some other movements that are out there that are wanted, but bureaucratic shortfall. But that's already something that is about to be addressed as we are trying to get through building a bunch of power plants, but they take a long time to construct. We might have to switch our construction order a little bit. Yeah, see, it's right there below it. Bump that up a little bit. Bump that one up a little bit. At least get a couple of them made. And maybe take one of them up to the west. And it passed on the first go. Wow, the odds weren't even in that favor. But mortality drops by 5% already, so we're going to see a big population boom now happening as a result, and we could actually turn that up even higher. And another uprising. So Mengba 2 has risen against us, and look how much territory we are set to gain from this one. The easy way. I like it. Already 84% advantage with just the one unit present, so this is going to happen pretty quickly. Meanwhile, checking in, we're still very much a pariah, but we're down to a 118, so it is drawing closer to falling back below that happy zone of a 100. We'd want to wait for it to fall a bit further before we go on too far. And the war is done, and we have now taken the territory ourselves. In terms of colonization, nothing else we can do right now. We're going to have to probably declare interest into the area. Yes, we are. And it looks like we're actually... Okay, big move. The final level for government administrations, the telephone switchboards, we're not developing telephones right now, so that would make them quite expensive, but the bureaucracy and the taxation capacity would go up significantly. But again, the substitution looks like an upfront cost that's going to be rough. It's definitely going to be rough. I think we can get on with telephone production. Electrics industries. And we are just producing our first power plants. Maybe we should check in on that one first. Synthetic plants are available to us. We haven't been doing anything with that. Let's at least maybe do that. There we go. The telephone is something that is spreading towards us, but it would take a year or less to get it done. We have some tech that's going on right now. So let's take care of a couple of things and kind of work our way towards it instead of doing it all at once. And we've unlocked the bolt action rifle, another opportunity to make our army that much stronger. And now we can get that telephone done. Another uprising, the Chokwi now. Oh, nice. That'll unite our two regions as well, so that'll make things much easier for us. With 5 units, they're not going to put up much of a fight, especially with the front split into 2 parts. And they've divided their forces evenly between the 2 fronts to try to hold us off, which works better than not covering one front entirely, but means they stand, well, they didn't stand a chance either way, really. Alright, so we've unlocked the telephone, which is what we needed to get that next phase. At least one journal entry that was related to this, besides the one we just expanded upon. Combustion engine is probably going to be useful, but we still have some military targets that we need to meet. We've already fully conquered the land, so that's going to be done here quite soon. And we finished the expand power plants, and we are entering the oil industry as well. Bunch of pump jacks going in place. We have not got anything to use yet, but we are going to quickly introduce it. One thing that I've been working on indirectly for quite a while without really looking at the detail is the urbanization of the United States. Early on, we focused entirely on New York, as that was the epicenter, that was the population base, but now population's been growing pretty rapidly, and the number of peasants available has exceeded other things along the way. And so at 19% of 75% eligible states, which are, of course, the 49 plus the syllables, and there might be 1 or 2 others. So we've got just over 50 states. Out of that, we're looking at 19% of those are currently where we need to be, level 5 and above. But I have not been breaking it down state by state to see what states still need to get to level 5. So for the first time, let's start checking in on that. You can see Maine is very much not even close. It's a level 1. They have some shipyards there. But what sort of population base do they even have? 97,000 peasants available. We can expand the shipyards a bit. New Hampshire, nowhere near. Vermont is nowhere. We do have population to expand, but at this point I'm looking more for what's at a level 3, what's at a level 4. Massachusetts is easily already there. Level 10. Rhode Island's got nothing. New York's a level 24. New Jersey, there you go. See, here's a great candidate. New Jersey, it's a level 3 with 100,000 peasants and a number of unemployed individuals. Perfect candidate to grow and expand. Let's take a few options. Let's add another government administration. We'll add another university. We'll add a few more paper mills. And a few steel mills, though at the moment they are not doing good cash reserve. And there's a brand new industry, electrics industries. And that's part of the reason why I'm taking the time to do this now. So that hopefully should push New Jersey to a level 5. Delaware is too small. Maryland is way too small, not enough peasants to really grow into something. Virginia, 60,000 peasants isn't a lot, but let's go ahead and throw in one more arms industry. Throw in another shipyard or 2. Another government administration. And then throw in a few electrics industries, and that should hopefully get us up to a level 5 there as well. Ohio's at a 13. Michigan's a 2 and has 80,000. That could maybe go into something. Furniture. Government admin. Another university. The electrics industry might get it there. think that should get our electric industries where we need it to go, and hopefully get a handful of additional states to that threshold we were looking for. Time for Social Security, going all the way to the top of old age pension. Is going to lead to a short bureaucratic shortfall. Not a major one, but it will come with a cost. And now France. France, the latest to decide that they want to go to war. Now, leaning their way is Austria, and that's the problem one. Italy and East India Company. For now, they are fearful. Will they get support? In the meantime, let's go ahead and do our next expansion of the army. Alright, so we've gone through the first phase. So far, they have no support for this one and are worried. Let's go ahead and get our forces mobilized. Not even sure if we have any shared fronts. At this point, we do not. I think the first target that I'd like to have in addition to war reparations, and probably the only additional target, is getting France out of, which this is historical, by the way, these three nations in the upper portion of South America, but getting France out of French Guiana and making that our own will be kind of the one additional war goal. I know there's plenty of African areas, but I'd like to get them out of the Americas. And the old age pension has passed, so we've gotten that one on the first tick. Italy has sided with France. Now that they have some support, this is definitely going to make them stronger, but they are still worried at this stage. Austria is the one that definitely worries me, but Austria already made a recent play. We may actually have a truce against Austria. Let's see. It's not to say that you can't have that, but they do. They have a truce with us, so breaking that truce could have a negative impact. I think. I don't know. That could be what's making them hesitate to join. And then East India Company is not very strong. So let's check out what we have in enemies in France and in Italy. France, they have more battalions than us at a very similar strength. They also have more flotillas than us at a slightly stronger strength, or at least stronger than I had last checked our level. Meanwhile, Italy is much weaker, as is their navy, but the combined forces might be able to do something. Now, the tricky thing with this one, there's no front. There's absolutely no open front. But the smart thing for us would be to invade weaker territories, conquer them real quick, and make sure we hold our primary land. Now, as we've added one war goal, that would be the first place that we would look to invade with our navy. Austria has slipped over to on the fence. They are no longer thinking about supporting, which means only East India Company may join at this point. And I think France is one we could handle based on they are the aggressor of this war, and there's no apparent front, so it would take an invasion, in which case we can kind of throw everything at it, right? Defensive. I think that gives us a pretty significant advantage. Now, Italy does add strength. It does overall make them stronger than us. And they have a lot more units mobilized than what we have. But overall, they don't contain any serious advantage. But it looks like we are going to war over this one, as it's about to enter the final phase. Yeah, see, there are no available fronts. Oh, and of course, we have a possible revolution on the way, enacting laissez-faire. That's got to be economic policy, right? So, who doesn't like us right now? It's the industrialists. We have an election coming up in 100 days, and it is from nothing to 108 in radicalism. There's a lot of support for that one, and that's enough to trigger a revolution, which is not what we need in a defensive war. That's the last thing that we need in a defensive war. So how can we... I mean, we can't even do anything to do that right now. We don't have an option to. Well, I think that's something that we can accept. We can allow that to happen. But it's the angry industrialists. So what happens if we try to bring those angry industrialists? No, because there's the ongoing revolution. Okay, well, that's going to maybe make things a bit tricky. And here is the war with France. It has broken out. Now, again, our only goal is to take French Guiana, and then, of course, war reparations. All right, so we are going to invade French Guiana as our target, and that's our approach. Right now, there is absolutely no front, but of course, we have a revolution brewing at the same time that I want to concede on immediately. I want to give them the laissez-faire. Looks like that invasion is set to happen in 33 days' time. I think we might have our revolution before that one happens. Meanwhile, we have an election in 125 days, and that could flip things because, well, I don't think it would flip things. Okay, 3 weeks before the invasion. And right now, ticking war score isn't going anywhere because we both have very high support. Looks like our decay is just a little bit faster than theirs. Minus 0.43, and they are a minus 0.38. But taking French Guiana is going to change that war score. Revolution now at 80%, impending in 3 weeks, and there we go. There is us claiming the front. That is going to start to, I would think, change the pace of the war, and then we'll have to focus on our revolution at 96%. And there we go. We've got all of French Guiana under our control. And you can already see the war score is beginning to go in our direction. So we're still at that minus 0.43, but they are now minus 2.39 as we've picked up a war goal. But they're going to tick down a lot faster than we are. Okay, so we are patrolling coast, but they are attacking convoys is what that looks like. And here's the American capitalist revolt. Okay, I think I'm going to switch sides on this one. Play on the other side. We have wealth voting, laissez-faire, now a great power, but we are very much split. So there is our American capitalist revolt, and now we have to figure this all out. We have one general right now. So this really couldn't have come at a worse time. Really couldn't, but here it is. So we have, well, actually, we're not even in the other war. The other America is. So we have the overwhelming majority of support of the units. It should win quite comfortably, but in the meantime, what's happening with France? Because that war's still happening. And meanwhile, we are losing a ton of money. I don't have a huge amount of credit either. That's even with things turned up. We can do this though. That's a huge part of the cost. Spiraling right now. But there it is. The war has begun. You can see we have healthy advantages on multiple fronts though. Let's see, the Midwest is 100%, that they have no forces here at all, and then we're gaining slowly on these other forces. Who would have known that we actually do end up getting a proper civil war, just in South America twice, but now in the U.S. proper, 1889 recovery rate, or higher mortality, I guess. Higher mortality is going to be it. Million in debt. Credit's going pretty high too. Free trade party, 100%. 100%. Dang. Minus 182 on pushing the goal, by the way. As we are technically a new nation, a wide number of empty pockets. Previously acquired objectives, journal entries, are all kind of popping in and reconcluding as we're technically a new nation. But that's a lot of pluses altogether. The Pacific push is doing rather well. We are also making gains in both the southeast and northeast. Uh-oh, what has happened? That is a white peace. That is a white peace that has been signed. So the war is over. France has backed down, but not. The U.S. has not gained war reparations or French Guiana, but that war has at least come to an end. So that war has come to an end, and now we focus on finishing off this civil war with a pretty hefty debt balance of -1.33 million, credit of 25 million. But when we reabsorb, we should have the finances that were there once we've annexed the U.S., and it'll be fine at that point. Our advantage is growing. We're still a ways off from winning. Conquering this front will push forces in here. And we're already at -89, so it is starting to go in our favor rather quickly. And their war support almost crossing that 0 threshold and dropping where we're at 87. So we are going to win this thing. What will the new U.S. look like after this one? War support's at a 0. It does not seem to be dropping any further, though. Why, I'm not sure. Dead, about 100,000 per side. Wounded, about 300,000 per side. So about 800,000 Americans have been dead or wounded in this war. Definitely not a good thing. Not what we wanted. Like I said, this was terrible timing. But at -23, we're nearly there. The default bankruptcy could be happening here quite soon. Bureaucracy is also super low. -6. -5. For whatever reason, I can't press the war goal at this point, so we're going to have to just continue on. We are still gaining on the southeastern front. Being in default is causing our offense and defense to be weaker, which is why we're seeing our war score tick in the wrong direction. We have a +129, but I cannot press the war goal, so I don't know what it's going to take to get capitulation. Why I can't press a war goal, I don't know. Do we have to fully conquer them in order to do that? Well, we can't do that while we're massively in default. So the odd thing here is their war support won't drop below 0. Ours will. We were completely dominating. I know we've gone into default, right? The economy isn't there. But I can't press the war goal even though they would approve. I'm very confused. Is this bugged out? Alright, so reading the details, I think the proof is in the pudding here. The type of revolution. Negotiated peace deal is not possible for a stamp out revolution diplomatic play. I think what that one means, which it doesn't have a drop down, which it could really use one, means we have to fully conquer them. So if we have to fully conquer them, we're not done, right? You're not done at all. And we have got to sort this situation out. Big time. So how do we sort this one out? Declare bankruptcy. We already have huge penalties, but this will take care of the other penalties that we have, which I'm looking at this one probably going, it's something like -50% penalties right now, as it is. So you replace one set of penalties with the other. So let's do it. We're gonna see what we can do here. Declare bankruptcy, and then we're going to increase cut down on the government wages, not the military ones. Now see, that should have made a massive difference, and it didn't. But it is making a difference here. Our advantage has gotten significantly stronger. I want to get a real strong advantage here. That strong advantage could and should allow us to close this front and focus on other fronts. And we're going to put them both on this front. There it is, capitulation. Okay, so now they have capitulated. And we are now once again the United States. Maintaining the same flag. Demanding independence, no way. Construction was paused, but we need to figure out what's going on here with this ugly mess. The economy is very much not the economy that once was. Let's figure out why that is. Giving it time is not going to necessarily fix that. We are a mess of a nation right now. Wealth voting could be one of the problems. Laissez-faire. This is not who we were, right? Some of the things are the same. Public schools, public health insurance, guaranteed liberties, 11,000 being paid in interest as we're already in debt. Welfare payments are at 50,000. I think the market is starting to stabilize just a little bit. There's the real problem. The bureaucracy is insanely low. So let's turn it up. Boom, just like that. We have bureaucracy and we have a massive positive balance. We went to the last level on government administration, one that I was waiting on, and that fixed it. That fixed it big time. But we have some issues. We have some things that need addressing. We need to turn these back up. We need to turn this back down. But we also have a massive credit debt shortfall that needs to be eliminated. I mean, we're paying a lot in interest. So we're going to sit on this for just a little bit of time. Alright, we've got the government turned back up. And the military. So we're going to keep them on our side. Still have a positive balance. We're on that credit side of things, so we need to wait. Keep construction paused for a little while. Bureaucracy is low again, which is creating a bit of a shortfall right now. Maybe we need to get in the construction side, and turning the bureaucracy up did not last. I think we have probably, I'm guessing in the market, some major shortfall that is tanking the economy again, as in like no telephones whatsoever. So opium is one we can fix by turning this back, betting that the telephone situation, turn it down to here, you again have this major shortfall. Shortfall's worse. Boy, that did not work. Okay, gosh, I know what the problem is. I just don't know how to fix it. Okay, we're going to turn that down a level. What else can we turn down a level? I guess education access, we can turn it back up later. We're going to have to turn construction back on. I think that's the key. That's going to come with a cost. What we need is telephones. That's an insane cost. So we need telephones, which are in the electrics industries. We have the electrics industries. Did we not get any of those finished? So we paused everything during the war. I don't think we did. I don't think any of them are done. All that stuff that was paused is gone. No, there is no Electrics Industries. Okay, spend to make. That's the approach we are aiming for right now. We have got to fix this bureaucracy shortage very, very soon. I do think the electric industries are probably more important at this point than the additional government administrations. Build a positive balance with a different government in place, with just a different scenario than what we had, and we find ourselves where everything was so comfortable to suddenly it's the polar opposite of that. We are hurting in a big way, but got a nice clean slate there. We're already back up to number 4, but very low on prestige, and we have a absurd challenge on our hands that's going to have to carry over into the next episode. The deficit's down to 117. The telephones are coming into play. We'll see how much of a difference they are making. Do we have any in production yet? No, not yet. But the first of those are going to be done soon, and that is going to drop that price, and that price is going to make a big difference on that government administration. I imagine some of those are not even really doing anything right now. Yeah, their weekly balance, huge negative, and that's because of this huge cost here. Paper is a pretty big cost too. But with that shortage, they're not providing, yeah, see, there you go, the shortage. It's shorting the amount of bureaucracy and the taxation capacity. Both massive negatives, so 46%. Gonna be a little bit. Will we survive long enough? That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.